Wow. That's all I got to say. Wow. The live stream's done. I'm kidding. The live stream isn't done, but what a game! What a game! Can't wait! What a game! As a basketball fan, that's the game I wanted. That's the game I wanted. Sure, having the Warriors winning would have been a lot more fun since I live in the Bay, but that's the game I wanted. What a game. What a game. What a game. I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say. I'm going to try to get Nightwing in here. But, oh, my God. I mean, it's ridiculous. I just need to say a few things. Just a few things before we get Nightwing on here. I'm happy for the fans of Cleveland. I truly am. They haven't won a major sports championship since 1964. What a feeling. What a feeling it must be in Cleveland. Or if you're a true Cavs fan, you know the hardship you guys went through. It's tough, but look, you guys won. Congrats. You won in fantastic fashion, might I add. Don't take this lightly. You guys have every right to be lit, stoked, hyped. Any good expression, you guys have the right to be. But don't be like, oh, I told you, and you guys are wrong and all that. Because look, the Cavs weren't the team that won 73 wins in the regular season. They weren't a team that faced adversity throughout the first 3 rounds of the playoffs. That's just the fact. So you guys being an underdog, the Cavs and Cavs fans, it's all warranted because that's what the numbers tell us. And you could argue that even makes this championship sweeter. Like, if you're favorited and you win a championship, it's like bold barbecue sauce. But if you're an underdog and you win a championship, it's like sweet, spicy barbecue sauce. So congrats. I'm stoked for you guys, City of Cleveland. Fantastic. I hope you guys appreciate this as much as you should because, I mean, you should. It's awesome. It's awesome. What a game. Game 7, NBA Finals. That's what you wanted. That's what you guys wanted. A good game. Heroics. Intensity. This is what you wanted. The Jay Scott says they weren't the underdogs like everyone was like Curry sucks. I don't know what you're talking about. The Cavs were underdogs in basically every facet of this series, whether it's Vegas, ESPN, whatever, Twitter. They were the underdogs. And you guys are saying that I'm sugarcoating. Sugarcoating what? I'm happy that we got a great game. I'm happy for the fans of Cleveland. What a game. LeBron, the block, I think the block that he had on Iggy turned the tide. I think that was like, okay, I think Cleveland's going to win this game. It was crazy. And then the Kyrie shot. Oh, my God. The Kyrie shot. Kyrie Steph. Well, not really. That's a Kyrie shot. That's Kyrie's shot. But the fact is that's the shot Kyrie wanted, and he got it. So if you think that was good defense, I would disagree. I thought that Kyrie going right with that little, jab step back. I've seen that a million times from him. So, I mean, you got to force him to do something he's not used to. But then again, what is Kyrie not used to? He's a great offensive player. You guys are unreal. Can I look at you guys for a second? You guys are unreal. I'm reading the chat. You guys are unreal right now. You guys don't deserve this live stream. I might just end it right now. You guys are saying, do you think it's rigged like all other Warrior fans? Why am I a Warrior fan? I enjoyed them the most. They were the most fun team to watch this season. You guys are telling me don't sugarcoat it. You guys are telling me you guys are hating. You guys are unreal. I might just end the live stream. This is you guys are crazy. You guys just want to find a place to hate. I'm out here giving the Cavs their due, and you guys are still hating. I don't understand you guys. Oh, man. Oh, man. Hold on. I got to invite Nightwing. Let's see here. How do I invite Nightwing? Here we go. Chris. There we go. But seriously, you guys are unreal. You guys are calling me a bad. What? I'm so happy that we got a good basketball game. That's what I'm most happy about. Yeah, living in the Bay, it would have been nice to see the Golden State Warriors win and have the 73-win season mean a whole lot more. But at the end of the day, I'm happy we got that game. It was it went down to the wire. There was clutch all around. Like, I mean, come on. I mean, oh, man. Man. Oh, my God. What a game. What a game. Oh, man. My girlfriend, who is a Warriors fan, is really mad right now. But, yeah, thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. Now I'm getting some support. Yes, I am a Lakers fan. Thank you. Man. Oh, hold on. Nightwing's having trouble. He's a little old. Don't be hard on Nightwing because he's a Warriors fan. If I was a Laker fan, I might not even be doing this live stream. And if we lost like that, I wouldn't be doing this live stream. I wouldn't. But so let me try to get Nightwing in here. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Hopefully this works. All right. But what a game. Guys, this was crazy. I don't want to talk about the Warriors just yet. I want to talk to Nightwing about that. But I want to talk about the Cavs more. I mean, I don't even think the numbers say LeBron had a really good game. But I didn't think it was like oh, man, LeBron's killing it game. But at the end of the day, it got him the win. So that's good. That's good. Oh, guys, this was awesome. Game 7 was awesome. Hopefully Nightwing's getting in here. We got a lot of people watching. Thank you for joining. But, oh, my God, join the chat. Tell me what you guys think about the game. I mean, oh, here we go. Here's Nightwing. Are you alive?
I'm not too old. I clicked the button and it didn't work.
Okay, let me introduce this. So, Nightwings should be in here. Yeah, I'm seeing it. He's in here. Guys, before we get into this 100%, I just want to say Nightwing should not be here right now, okay? If this was the Lakers and they lost like that, I wouldn't even be on a live stream, okay? I'd just be crying, hitting something, probably doing something not so savory that would probably go against my lease, which means yelling. I want to be here. So we got to give props to Nightwing for joining the live stream. And Nightwing, if you haven't been watching the live stream, I'm a little disappointed that the Warriors didn't win, but I'm so overwhelmed and excited that was a good game. Was it not?
It was until we lost. So
right. I understand.
It was a great game from a basketball standpoint.
That wasn't a regular Game 7. Game 7s are so weird, right?
Yeah.
Usually they're like fights.
The atmosphere between this Game 7 and the OKC Game 7 was completely different.
Right.
That one the OKC felt very sporadic, and then this one, everybody was very calm. It was almost eerie. Like I was like
Oh yeah.
super like gut wrenched the whole time. It was like watching a scary movie.
You know why?
Why NBA is rigged?
No.
Illuminati confirmed? What?
Illuminati confirmed. No. There was history on the line. Yes, there was.
On both ends.
Yeah, there was history in the last one, right? But
Mm-hmm.
there was real history.
Well, this one, there's history both sides. There's
Right.
history being made from one team and the other, and on top of that, there's legit rivalry history because of what happened last season.
Let's talk about that. The NBA, the last like kind of rivalry was probably like Lakers Celtics. If you want to call Heat Spurs a rivalry, I don't know. Like, that okay, if you're one of the fans of those teams, yes. But as just a basketball fan, the last rivalry I would say was that little Lakers Celtics thing. They went back to back. But even then, that rivalry wasn't like the rivalries in the past. So is this a rivalry? Because I think LeBron made it a rivalry. What do you think?
I don't think we officially know till next season.
Okay,
but
fair.
But I do think that every time we see these two teams compete against one another next season, that it will confirm that these teams are going to go head to head as hard as possible. At the end of the game, Kyrie was being interviewed, and he called out the Warriors as the NBA champs because first off, I love Kyrie. Like I think that guy is a stand-up dude. He's amazing. On and off the court, I think he's awesome. And for him to even do that and call back to the Warriors, not as the ex-NBA champs or, a shots fired or a little dig type thing. It was a 100% pure respect. Like LeBron did it too. He said it was the greatest season or whatever single, you know what I'm saying? 73-9 greatest regular season team or whatever. So, so I think that it's not safe to say it yet until they play each other next season. But, it's almost like it's like right there. It's like at the edge.
Well, what I mean by LeBron made this a rivalry was
the dude was
this series was crazy because the first two games, it was like, oh my God, 4 or 5 games. And then they won game 3. And then game 4 that the Warriors won on the road, LeBron looked kind of like flustered. And if you played basketball competitively, not pickup, not, like regulated basketball game where you're not in control of your own, like fouls, calling your own fouls, because pickup fights are different. Like that usually because there's an idiot calling the wrong foul. But
from gangbangers, not legit. Well, sometimes legit ones, but guys with puffing their chest and stuff.
Right. So when you're in a game and a ref and things aren't going your way and the other team's just out executing you, you get like this fluster and you do stupid stuff. And it's easy for people outside to be like, yo, you got to chill or whatever. An example, the Draymond thing. He should have known that he had, X amount of your flagrants or technicals. It's different when you're in the game. And especially these guys growing up where they have to quote unquote survive and basketball was their only salvation. It's just different. And I think LeBron was getting flustered, talking a lot, doing a lot of stupid stuff. I've never seen LeBron step over a guy, but then he stepped over Draymond. And then when he blocked Curry in game 6, he looked back and said some pretty choice words that me and you are not allowed to say. And when you're saying that, it's one thing, but when you're saying it to Steph, who probably doesn't use that word, I was like, what just happened? And then this game, I didn't even think he played a great game. He played a good game. Not a great game. Look at my John Campia movements. But this was a crazy series, and not every game was close, and it wasn't the best basketball. And
did you write down stats?
No, I'm like gripping onto this hard because I'm so excited. But I guess what I'm trying to get at is I think LeBron took all the stuff the Warriors and Steph were doing a lot more personally than we thought he did, because I thought he was on a personal vendetta in this series, especially after game 2 and game 4 for that fact. But what did you think about LeBron's performance just tonight?
The Chasedown blocks were incredible, dude.
I thought that last Chasedown changed everything.
That's what I'm saying. Like, each one of them was a game-changing moment in that moment. It shifts momentum. And to have like what happened the last game where he blocked Curry after the shot or after the whistle or whatever, and all that stuff kind of sets a tone, sets a tonal theme to that game or whatever, the series. And for him to not just kind of like do that and then have nothing to follow up with, like, this dude chased down, like, he came out of nowhere on that last one, that Iggy one.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he cleared court and he flew, and just that shit's incredible, dude. Like, I was like holding my hair, being like fuck, you know, like, it was just crazy.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I think before this series and this game, I had LeBron. I think I had him 5, 6 to 7 greatest players of all time. But after this game, I think 100% sure 5, the 5th, maybe the 4th.
I don't think you can solidify it to this single game. Look at what he did the whole series.
No, I know,
You know what I mean? Like,
if he
was amazing.
Right, but if he
Even
lost,
in the losses. Yeah,
no, I know. But last year he had better stats. It wasn't as efficient, but better stats.
That's just the shitty thing with media, though. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, everybody will always point out what you didn't do instead of what you actually accomplished. And it's like with this Warriors team, they broke records, period. Like, these things will always be in those record books. There's not going to be a thing underneath it that says they didn't win the ring, although now it will be, because next to that will be the whole Cleveland coming back from a 3-0 deficit. But they broke records this season. They accomplished stuff, period. Like, that's the end of story. And that's what LeBron did last season, this season, every season he plays. And so to try to downplay a man's accomplishments is a bitch move, in my opinion. So my bad.
Well, I agree with you, but moments are what make these stupid hypothetical questions, right? Rankings. No, there's no rankings of the top 10 play. Nowhere in the league is there a plaque that 1, 2, 3 and the player rankings. This is just some stupid thing the media and fans do, but it's stupid fun. It's stupid to tip over a porta potty, but it's fun as shit.
Yeah.
Now, but after this game, because to me, there's 3 definite locks: Magic, Bird, Jordan. Descending order. Jordan at the top, Magic, Bird, to me, interchangeable. But those are the 3. LeBron could surpass them if he does crazy stuff. But right now, those are the 3 guys. I just cannot put LeBron in front of those guys. Now, 4 or 5.
I was gonna say, where's Shaq?
No, I know, like 4 could be Shaq, Bill, Wilt. Like, it's probably a big Olajuwon personally, but
I was gonna say it'd be a toss up between LeBron and Shaq. Shaq in his prime.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah.
You know,
no, I know.
Although Shaq, see, with Shaq, it's a tricky one because you can always counter with he was only able to accomplish what he did with a good guard, but I mean, the dude was unstoppable in the post. It was unbelievable.
Shaq was an anomaly, much like LeBron is.
Yeah. Well, but so, like, LeBron to me seems like if you're going to compare him to anybody that you just said, at least those top 3, Magic would be the one. There was little things that he did tonight, just tonight, where, you know, they pass inside, or it was kind of like off to the end of the corner. He sticks his hand out, doesn't just tip the ball, but just catches it.
Oh, I know.
Outlet pass.
I know.
That's magic. You know what I mean? And then he intercepts a pass on accident that was coming off to the wing onto the 3, and the Warriors defense caught it, but then they left dude open in the corner, kicked it out there, got it. But I mean, that's incredible court vision for a big guy.
Yeah, I thought everything you just said, besides the pass, it was defense. I thought he played so good on defense and stuff like that. His offensive game, I was actually kind of getting annoyed. I thought he was pounding the rock a lot in the first half. And I tweeted, I said, the team that makes the right adjustments going to win the ring. And because I talked to you, I just thought the Warriors were playing better, even though the score was so close. I just was like, yeah, the Warriors are executing. Come second half, it was a flip script. It was a flip script.
Who did you have to win this game? Did you pick somebody?
I only picked somebody in my last video because I know people would kill me if I didn't, but I want to address this right here, right now, and I hope the chat's listening. Predicting game sevens is stupid, and if you predict the Cavs, good on you, but that doesn't mean you know shit. It's a toss-up.
No, it's not. I wouldn't call it a prediction. I was just curious who you had, because I actually did have Cavs.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay,
just because of momentum.
You know me, I'm kind of a based on history.
Yeah. No, you're very statistic.
Yeah, the Warriors, it's in their favor. 73 home.
Hey, that's the thing, is that like every case that you would make on that side, like it's agreeable. Like you can't even dispute it.
Right. I had.
However, I had this weird. Yeah, I had this weird feeling though. I just felt like
I did too.
I didn't feel like we were going to make it. And right at the wire, I was like, are they really going to go into overtime? Yeah. And then Kyrie, I mean, he pulled a Steph, and he hit that step back three, man. That was, icing on the cake right there. So my eyes got watery as that happened because I knew that we were toast.
It was a crazy game, and I'm talking about LeBron's offensive performance that I thought was good, not great. Yes, I know the numbers, triple-double, only 3 players in NBA Final Game 7s have ever done it. I get that. But his game was just good on defense, or good on offense, great on defense. But with all that being said, and I'm assuming he won Finals MVP, Kyrie's the hero in Cleveland tonight.
No, I agree.
I mean, Kyrie, I said it earlier. It was a reflex. I said he Steph, but it wasn't. That's a Kyrie shot. I seen him do that. He actually did that in San Antonio last season, I think, when LeBron and him both scored 50 or something.
Yeah.
The game clinching shot in overtime, I believe. It might have been late in the fourth, though. It was that same shot. And it was just like, that's his shot. And
yeah, no, that's the thing, is that I think people that don't watch Kyrie enough, they don't realize that he actually can shoot like really well. So even off the ball, or on the ball like that. So he's a good rhythm shooter too. So, I mean, they should have seen it as the 41-point night. I mean, when the guy gets going, he's like the rim just gets huge.
Right,
but he was making these incredible bank shots with the fouls.
I know he's gifted.
So frustrated.
But earlier in the chat, people were saying Kyrie greater than Steph. Look, what he did tonight, probably yes. But if you were in a draft, who would you pick if they were both on the board, Steph and Kyrie, and you had to pick one of those two? Who would you pick?
With their skill levels today, or as they were being drafted?
Right now, you're drafting right now, a fantasy draft.
Yeah,
you have to pick one of those two guys. Who do you pick? Right, you pick Steph. And that's perfectly fine. But tonight, Kyrie came on top, and that's just the way it is. You win some, you lose some. That's basketball.
Correct. Yeah, the thing that's irritating is fans themselves. Fans are too black and white, cut and dry. Right. It's always this dude sucks or fuck this guy, and it's just like, look, I understand passion and that you love your team. But to be disrespectful, it's just, and it's partially because of the internet, because they can say anything that they want without getting, punched in the face afterwards or whatever. Because if you do that type of shit in the stadium, you see what happens afterwards on the news. Somebody gets knocked out or somebody gets killed or whatever. You know what I mean? And so I think that fans need to pull it back a little bit and understand that everybody's a fan of the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Which is the game. and then they should debate respectfully. Like, it's cool to be like, nah, I think Steph is better than Kyrie, or Kyrie's handles are better than Steph's, and all this, that, and the other. But to be like, yo, definitively, like, fuck this guy or whatever, like, that's some stupid ass shit. Like, I just think like fans can get a little out of line.
Right. With that being said, let's talk about Curry. I'm gonna bring up his stats here. But he had said, Curry, before the game started yesterday, he said, I have to play the best game of the season to win. Right. And let's not ignore the fact that it was 89-93. It was a close game. Those are coin flips 100 times out of 100, especially with the talent on the floor. When you got a team that has LeBron and Kyrie, and then you have a team that has Steph and Clay, and it's tie game with 2 minutes left, that doesn't always mean the better team won, but it's just crazy, because if a parallel dimension right now has the Warriors winning this, and that's perfectly fine. But the dimension we're living in right now, the timeline we're living in right now, Cleveland won. And did they deserve to win tonight? Absolutely. In the other dimension, we're getting off topic, and that's gonna
into the flash.
What I'm trying to say, that's like complex shit there. Yeah. But what I'm trying to say is that if you played this scenario 100 times, tie game, game 7, finals, Warriors, Cavs, it's probably 50-50, right? Like, Warriors win 50, Cavs win 50.
That's the thing, though. With if you're looking at statistics just over the series, it's a 50-50 split, which is how we got into a game 7. Exactly. You know what I mean? And then if you're looking statistically anyways, any chance or any team at any given chance playing one game and a one and done, just like in the NCAA, it's all chance. You know what I mean?
Right.
Whoever grinds it out the most or the hardest.
The reason why I'm saying this is because I want to avoid. I'm trying to save you people, the people watching, and especially the ones that are active in the chat. I'm trying to save you from you saying, "See, I told you the Warriors suck, or the Curry sucks." Guys, they lost tonight, but again, like we just said, you do it 100 times over again, it's right down the middle. It just so happened that tonight the Cavs won. And speaking of Curry, so here's the stats, and I want you to. As a Warriors fan, I want you to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10. 10 being, yes, that's my guy. I'm proud of him. Win or lose, he played a 10. 1 being, trade him. 39 minutes. 6 for 19. 4 for 14 on threes. 1 free throw. He made it. 5 rebounds. 2 assists. A steal. A block. 4 turnovers. Again, 2 assists, 4 turnovers, 4 fouls, 17 points. What do you rate that?
Like, would I keep the player or dish him out?
On a scale of 1 to 10, rank Curry's Game 7, 2016 NBA Finals performance.
I'd give it a 6.
A 6. Okay. I would do 5 or 6, because that last possession where he made Love look like a lockdown defender.
No, for me, well, that was irritating, but that was, see, this is the thing, is that you can call the Warriors team a veteran team right now because they were in the championship and playoffs last year, but they're still, like, in these situations, they're still very young. You know what I mean? And so they have not proven that they can. This type of composure, there's only a handful of players that have that type of composure as the clock's winding down, where you're like, you know, some of those players that you mentioned earlier, Bird, Magic, Jordan, Kobe, you know what I mean? Like, these players, like, when that clock's ticking, dude, and you know that you're down 2, this is a make or break, a do or die for you. Your nerves sometimes get the best of you, and this is a young team, man. When you're doing that kind of stuff during the regular season, it doesn't affect you because you're just like, oh, well, we got another game in 2 days or whatever.
Right.
This was the last game of the season.
Right.
So I'm not going to say he choked, but
he didn't choke. There wasn't a choke moment, but
that's what I'm saying, is that he
played better.
Definitely. Right. I think that where the point in the game turned against the Warriors was when he turned it over on that stupid behind the back.
Oh, that was bad. Yeah, that was bad.
To Clay. That was
Yeah, no, that was bad.
That right there shifted what momentum Cleveland already had building, and just all over the edge right there.
There was a sequence for like 5 minutes, it seemed like, where no one could score. Nobody. It was crazy.
Exactly. It was crazy.
I was at a bar and it was just like I was just like, what? It was it was crazy. But going back to Steph, especially that one play where Love looked like a lockdown defender, there was a lot of dribbling, but not a lot of movement. I just don't understand what happened there. It seemed like he relied on he's like, we need to get a three. We need to get a three. When all season they were a quick 2 foul and just kind of stretch the game out like that. All season they were like that. That's how they won that OKC game with that crazy Steph shot. I don't know what happened there. But how bad, speaking about performances, how bad do you want a Draymond Green jersey right now? Because me, I want one.
That's who I would have picked for MVP.
It's crazy because
that's something too where, granted, like nothing to take away anything from LeBron, but I almost felt like Kyrie maybe should have, because it was unanimous for the Finals MVP, but I kind of feel like Kyrie almost had a shot with that. It was
unanimous? I didn't see it because I drove home, but it was unanimous?
Yeah, I watched all the stuff afterwards, like trophy ceremony.
It was unanimous?
Yeah. That's what Silver said, and I was just kind of like, really? Like Kyrie was crazy that series, dude.
I'm not mad
tonight. Yeah. No, I'm not mad at it because
because
you know, like I said, over the course of this series, and the playoffs in general, but Kyrie in this series in particular really shined, and you know, the dude took everybody off the dribble, like everybody on the Warriors.
Yeah, I forget which video it was. It might have been a live stream, it might have not, but I'm on record saying I think Kyrie's a gamer. I didn't believe in his people saying that he was bad on defense. And then I remember people were blasting me when I said, oh, I think he's a good defender. And the thing people don't understand is people, especially now, you know, I've been doing a lot of NBA videos lately. And so I got a good temperature of what social media thinks about defense. And what they think defense is athleticism and physicality. Okay, look.
Yeah, I don't even want to get into it because what people think defense is, like, I would like to see them play basketball.
That's not defense. You know who was a good defender? Ron Harper. Great defender. He was a really good defender. If you put him on LeBron, he's going to get toasted. That's just a fact because he's bigger, stronger, faster, quicker. That's just a fact. But if you put Pippen on LeBron and then Ron Harper does help defense, that's good defense. You know, like that's the kind of thing. Sometimes defense just comes down to effort. You can't look at me in the eye and say James Harden, who's what, 6'3", 6'7", you know, 2 whatever, however much he weighs, physically gifted. He's physically gifted guy. He's athletic. He's skilled. You can't look at me in the eye and say, oh, he could be a good defender. The dude just doesn't try. So defense really comes down to, for me personally, I honestly think defense is smarts and wanting to do it. That's what it is.
Yeah. It's a lot of it is just general basketball IQ. You know, IQ. Reading the opponent's patterns and habits because they all have them. Right. You can count dribbles, you can count steps, whatever it is that you do, because you know, something that people don't understand, fans in general, is that you don't know what coaching staff is asking of this player that you're trashing on their defense. I'm sure he could play defense if he wants to, but for someone like Steph, that's their score. You want to make sure he's got fresh legs.
No, I know. And you could play perfect defense. You can know what move is coming. Steph could be guarding LeBron and no, he's going to fake left, go right. The ball's going to be right here. But LeBron is so strong that Steph could get a hand on the ball and LeBron rips right through Steph's hands and not just the ball.
Yeah, so not just that, but I've had it to where every big man brings the ball up from their waist.
Yeah, and you hit the ball, they strip right through you.
Well, no, usually I get the ball out because I hit it so hard. But what ends up happening during like the regulated games is that I almost 9 out of 10 times get called for a foul, even though I never hit the guy.
Right.
And it's just because of the visual. So it's like that's a good play pickup ball, but regulated ball you can't get away with, even though it was never even a foul.
Right.
And it's frustrating with that. So when you do end up getting a mismatch and you know what the player's doing, you can't even react to it sometimes just because of what the call might be.
Real quick, and we'll get back to the game. Good. You could play perfect defense, but sometimes there's just you just can't stop the other guy. Perfect defense, the other guy can still score. And I remember saying this one time, and people kept getting on my case about it on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube comments, where I said, offense beats defense every time, unless you literally steal the ball or whatever. But once the ball's put up in the air, you could play perfect defense. You could have a guy shoot one of those shots where his foot's on the 3-point line, which is regarded as the worst shot in basketball. And you can make him go fade away and a hand all in his face and make him take this funky shot. That by definition is perfect defense. He could still make the shot. So, but yeah, back to the game. We talked about Curry, LeBron, Kyrie a little, Draymond. But let's talk about the temperature of the game. We'll start in the first half. We kind of touched on it a little bit. The Warriors were executing, and they were making, and it was weird because it was still a close game, but they were making the right passes. It looked like they knew where every single guy on the floor was. Literally, it looked like they knew where they were going to be before they even got there. Then on the defensive end, they made all the right rotations, literally all the right rotations. And that's where talent comes in, because like we just talked about, perfect segue is you could play perfect defense, but sometimes the other guy's just that good and he shoots the ball up and it goes in. That's what the Cavs were doing. They were kind of like, they weren't playing, executing. They weren't. They were doing like ISO ball and slowing the game down. And that's what the benefit is of having a guy like LeBron or Kyrie is. So I really, by the first half, I was like, yeah, I think the Warriors got this. Then comes the second half. And the adjustment by the Cavs, I said earlier, the team that makes the right adjustment is going to win. The adjustment by the Cavs was getting a mismatch and then boom, going at it. That was it. And they, in the first half, they tried to do that, but then the Warriors were switching. They weren't even switching. They were showing and rotating so well that the Cavs couldn't get a switch. But what ended up happening in the second half was the Cavs were like, we're going to keep trying to get a switch until we get one. And when we get one, it's going down. And that's what happened. And that's what ultimately hurt the Warriors, in my opinion.
I think it was a little bit more individual of what hurt the Warriors.
What hurt the Warriors?
Verjao and Barnes.
Oh, Verjao. Well,
surprisingly, Green's 3-point shot was keeping this team in the game.
No, I know. Green was the MVP, and I wasn't going to allow him to get it if they won. I wasn't going to allow him to get finals MVP because he missed a game. But the way he played tonight, it probably would end like 15 rebounds, 9 assists, 2 steals.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
So,
I know.
I was surprised that Kerr didn't pull Verjao and Barnes out at certain times, because I was just kind of like, yo, like Verjao is just too weak to deal with this stuff. Like, I thought that Spates should have been in at the least, or go with Ezeli, even though Ezeli was off, but at least he's getting rebounds.
But that was mainly in the first half.
No, it was during the second half too, man. This guy is fucking flopping ass hair.
Verjao played 8 minutes. So even if he did play in the second half.
Look, dude.
I'm saying
if he really only played 8 minutes, that was the most awful and excruciating 8 minutes that the Warriors could have had.
No.
You know, like that's almost a whole quarter of
I wrote in my phone notes. I said, I think it was with like 4 minutes left in the third quarter, and Ezeli was really struggling, where he didn't even try to block that Kyrie thing on the baseline. He could have easily blocked it, but he didn't. That's when I said, okay, Kerr needs to go small, but he kept wanting to have a big out there, which is like, the guy's Bogut. That's what the guy you want. But
yeah,
I thought that Kerr could have went small earlier, especially with Livingston.
Yeah, but do you think that having no Bogut is what did us in?
No, because just like we talked earlier, the Warriors win this 50 times out of 100, and so do the Cavs.
Yeah.
Now, if you put Bogut in, I think it's the same results, 50-50. That's what Game 7s are. They're literally a coin flip.
I just don't want Warrior fans to be like, oh, we weren't healthy. Like, no. We got beat fair and square.
Curry was not healthy. But like we just said, out of 100 times, they win 50 times, even without Curry being healthy. I mean, they weren't.
Iverson was rarely 100% out there, and that's
why he only won one game in the finals.
hey, we don't bring that up.
Don't make me bring my Iverson jersey. That's not a diss. I got one right there from when I was a kid. But the Cavs were fresher. And don't even say, oh, the Warriors went for 73. That's what did them in. They just got done playing Oklahoma City, one of the best teams in the NBA, 7-game series, down 3-1, in fact. Meanwhile, the Cavs had a 6-game series against the Raptors, which is like, who is going to make your body hurt on the Raptors?
Well, it's not even that. Like the Warriors, not only did they have a grueling regular season, but their playoff run was not easy. Every opponent, you know what I mean? Whereas the Cavs steamrolled through most of theirs until they got to Toronto.
They did steamroll. Well, Toronto thing was weird, but
well, I mean,
it wasn't like those 2 losses that the Cavs had against Toronto were like, wow, we tried so hard to win that game. And it was like a physical, emotional toll. It was like, we lost that game. Okay, we lost this game too. And then they won in 6. So
that's the thing, though, is that I feel like with the Warriors' previous playoff matchups, it could have helped them in this series, and it could have also hurt them in this series, just because you gain experience, you went through some hard shit, and you persevered, and then also you played some players, you went through some hard shit, now your bodies are messed up. So you know what I mean? So it's kind of like it's the roll of the dice. That's the way that the game is played. You know what I mean? Like anytime anybody goes out there, pickup or not, you don't know what's going to happen, and that's the game of basketball. That's what makes it fun.
How much should we blame Draymond?
What? Blame him for what?
Yeah.
Oh, for the little nut shot?
I don't care what anyone says. I think there's a 85% chance that if Draymond played in game 5,
you think that they would have won?
It would be over. In my opinion, 85%. If Draymond played in game 5, the Warriors win that game and the series.
Look,
the Cavs they needed something. They were drowning in the ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, middle of the Atlantic Ocean.
But they
were drowning. They asked God.
Game 6, though, was there.
They asked God for a life vest. And you know what that life vest was? The Draymond suspension. And they grab a hold of it. That's what you're supposed to do. I'm not blaming I'm not saying the Cavs got lucky, because I've seen teams get life vests and not grab a hold onto them. Kings 2002. But
that was a great squad.
It is a great squad, but not legendary. Anyways, the Cavs did what they were supposed to. But I think in hindsight, that's why Draymond played so good tonight, because he was like, yo, if we lose, this is my fault. I think he thought that, and he's supposed to think that. That's being a good teammate, because he let his teammates down. I honestly think that the Warrior fans should have a right to be mad at Draymond, regardless of how he played tonight. Look, they would have won, in my opinion, if he was there.
I'm not mad at him, because you and I both know that this team could have beat Cleveland in each of those games.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because we had the same lineup in Game 6 that we did tonight. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like
Well, you started with a different lineup, and
Well, no,
also
I'm just saying like we had Green in Game 6 the same way that we did in Game 7.
no, I
So
know, but we watched Game 6,
that
right?
the thing is that collectively as a team, the Warriors came out in these past 3 games, including tonight, despite how they executed on the offensive and defensive end. They came out to these last 3 games very nonchalant. And that just isn't going to cut it against a very hungry Cleveland team with very hungry LeBron James, a very hungry Kyrie Irving. You know what I'm saying? With a bunch of cast members around them that can score at will at any time. Last year, I got nervous during this matchup, being like, "Yo, if J.R. Smith goes off, he could be Cleveland's key." You know what I mean? Tonight, though, tonight they had multiple keys. They were passing around. At first, it was LeBron's turn, then it was Kyrie's, then it was Tristan Thompson, and then it was, you know what I'm saying? It was J.R. Smith and his threes. Like everybody had a hand in it.
I was shocked that Tristan Thompson shot like 56% from the free throw line. I could have swore he was shooting like 100% from the free throw line. The fucking dude, every clutch free throw he made, props to that guy, right? Is it just me? Like,
well,
what the hell?
Okay. So it's talking about clutch free throws. We got pulled a Nick Anderson with Iggy at the end.
Yeah, but I knew that was gonna happen. I knew he was gonna miss.
Dude.
No, I knew he was gonna miss. Remember when he made the free throws in OKC? We were like, what? Right? So we thought he was gonna miss. I knew he was gonna miss. If you're a Warriors fan thinking Iggy was gonna make that, you played yourself, because come on.
No, you don't ever think anything like this. You're not a real basketball or Warrior fan if you automatically think that everything's hunky dory. Like you must have been a fan for 3 years. You know what I mean? Because we've sucked for my entire life. So you know what I mean? Like
we believe was fun.
No,
1 year.
Yeah, that was great. They gave us a belief that we can win, especially with a no offense to everybody on that squad, but you know, a group of clowns basically compared to other teams with all stars.
They would win 29 games in today's NBA. That squad.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. So all of these fans of the Dubs, they don't understand anything. So I do wonder though, and this is getting off topic, I do wonder if there's going to be a bunch of the same bandwagon talk that there was with us, with Cleveland.
For Cleveland?
Yeah.
Oh, of course not. No.
You don't think so?
Bandwagon talk only happens with, like, not cities like Cleveland, because here's the thing. Here's the reason why. Bandwagon talk only happens with cities like Golden State, LA, New York, Chicago, like these big markets. It doesn't happen with cities like Cleveland or even OKC. You know why? Because those fans, they don't need them. But when someone not from Cleveland wants to be a fan of Cleveland, people in Cleveland are like, you do? Okay. You know what I mean? Whereas Golden State, the Giants just won a World Series a few years back. 2, in fact. You know, the Niners were in the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Like, and then that's just the way Cleveland is like. I'm not trying to offend Cleveland, but it's just
Cleveland's a team that nobody would root for. It's like a face only a mother could love. You know?
Yeah, which is fine because Cleveland is not a tourist destination, whereas like San Francisco, LA, like they're glamorous city. And so people only, and look, Laker fans are the worst fans. They're the worst fans. Laker fans don't know anything. You know why? It's because they only watch them when they're good. Makes sense because they got too much other crap going on in LA. That's just a fact. But when the Lakers are good, all these people start popping up and watching the games because it's topical. Whereas Cleveland, good or bad, people are talking about the Cavs. You know what I mean?
True.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, I was just curious.
So, yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. And it shouldn't, because bandwagon accusing is about as productive as kissing your own ass. No one cares, and you look like an idiot doing it. So,
yeah.
But speaking of fandom, I want to ask you this. It's been on my mind lately.
Okay. Is this a personal question or what?
What makes a fan
What do you mean? Of what? Anything?
of a basketball team? Let's just say a sports team, but for this sake, basketball. What makes a fan? Like, oh, you're a fan. What qualities? Is it where you live? Is it knowledge or loyalty?
No, I think taking the sport side out of it, to me personally, if you're a fan of something, you have to have or hold some sort of passion towards that something, which in turn will make you want to learn more about whatever that something is.
Passion, loyalty category. Yeah, no, I agree.
You can't just wake up one day and be like, yo, I live in the Bay, whether you were born here or not. I just feel like being a Warriors fan because whatever.
No, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
The first step is passion. To me, the second step is knowledge.
That's what that's what I mean. And the passion will fuel the rest.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
but
same thing with anything like any of the stuff like the shoes. I was passionate about that first. Learned about the tech, the performance, etc. So, you know.
No, but the people on Twitter and people in the chat, I'm not specifically saying this chat because I'm not paying attention to it yet, guys, but in past chats, Twitter, Instagram comments, YouTube comments, look, we make these videos. I make the basketball videos. I know it. I'm not making this crap up. People literally think that fandom is not loyalty or anything like that. It's knowledge and where you live, because that always comes up in the comments. Where are you from? Or do you even know? On my Facebook feed is riddled with a picture of Speedy Claxton, Cliff Robinson. I'm forgetting the other dudes, but like these 5 Warrior dudes. I think Bobby Sura's in there or something like that. And it's like, I wonder if all these Warriors fans know these guys, implying that knowledge makes you a fan, right?
That's what I mean, though, is that anybody can Google.
Oh, I know. It's so stupid.
Fucking
so
the
stupid.
2001 roster or whatever.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, that's dumb.
So, but based on this argument of knowledge makes you a fan, I know probably more about your team than you know about your team. So when people get mad at me like, oh, you're doing this or that, I'm like, yo, I like your team. I like basketball. So the reason why I bring this up is because I just want people just to know knowledge isn't what makes you a fan. It's the passion. If you want to be passionate about something, if people want to like the Warriors, let them.
Well, exactly. That's the thing, though, is that with fandom, okay, there's no definitive rule to guide to any of this shit. Let people have fun.
Yeah, let them like it. If they're passionate, let them.
Let them enjoy shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you know who's the real hater? You.
Yeah,
like,
no,
you know what I
funny.
mean? Like, you're sitting here trying to tear someone down for what?
Just think about this scenario. Chat room, listen up, because this is real. A person doesn't really follow basketball, doesn't care. They're at a bar. The Warriors are playing because they're winning a lot. Nationalized game. They're watching it, and they're going, holy crap, that guy just did that? Wait, and then the infographics come up, and it's like, they're on this winning streak. Hey, they're on that. That's crazy. That winning streak, like, look at their record. Hey, I like this. This is fun. I've never really been that into basketball, but I like this. By definition, Twitter, YouTube comments, that's a bandwagoner to them. But in reality, it's, hey, I like that. I'm going to follow it now.
Yeah, I think
someone said that's bandwagoning. I just don't understand it.
I think there's a weird divide amongst fans in general where like they literally think there's some sort of weird rule book or something that will guide you to whatever fandom is, right? Like, they don't seem to understand that we are fans of the game, basketball. We have teams that we root for because there are teams. For whatever reason, there are teams. You know what I'm saying? Is it Is it wrong to say as a Warrior fan that Kyrie is an amazing, not just a good point guard, but an amazing point guard? No, because it's my opinion. Like, I love the game. I can appreciate other things that are great. You know what I'm saying? It's just like with shoes. Like, why would you only be a Nike head or a Jordan head? If you are, that's cool. But don't ever question another person that likes Under Armour as well, or Airwalks or whatever. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand that, because like for me, I started playing basketball before I started watching basketball. You know, that's where I fell in love with the game itself. And then from there, that passion fueled interest, which fueled gaining knowledge, which is watching film, watching games, watching people play the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Someone just said this. Bandwagon definition. I can't wait to read this.
Is this a legit definition, or is this his definition?
I don't know.
Okay.
Bandwagon is probably a wagon where a musical group rides in. That's a literal definition. But his definition of a bandwagon, Bryant 12-ish, who watches the live streams a lot, thank you, but hopefully you don't play yourself on this. He says, a particular activity or cause that has suddenly become fashionable or popular.
Isn't that hype?
No, that's not hype. Hype is liking something that you don't even like, but you just like it because other people do. That's hype.
Isn't that bandwagoning? Like, what the fuck?
Here's what his definition is: suddenly liking something because it's fashionable or popular. You know, like that just means you just learned about something and you liked it, and it's become popular. Remember Pokemon? Like, it was popular all of a sudden, and then I was like, hey, that is cool. And then I liked it. So bandwagoning is just this made up thing.
Well, yeah, but hopping on the bandwagon can actually start someone's passion for something.
Exactly. You know? But bandwagon is like this negative term now that just doesn't make sense. And I everyone's been on a trend. What is that? A trend? Is a bandwagon a trend? I'm not sure. To me, you are allowed to be mad at someone who pretends like they like something when they really don't. Because that's a busted move.
Yeah, that's definitely different. You know what I'm saying?
That's different than bandwagoning. You know, like people buying shoes just because they know it's hot. That's stupid. That's a busted move.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's half the sneaker game right now.
That's a rant. I hope you guys enjoyed it. How about this?
Do you want to take questions now or no?
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna take questions. So if you want to know anything about this Game 7, let us know in the chat room. And while you're doing that, I want to read this stat to you. Free throws made and attempted for Cleveland, 21 of 25. Warriors, 10 of 13. So basically half the amount. I'm not surprised because that's the way the Warriors play. They shot 41 threes.
Yeah. No, I watched it.
It's rigged.
I watched it happen.
Yeah, it doesn't mean it's rigged.
Barnes catches the ball, does his ridiculous pump fake that nobody falls for, kicking his leg out, and then drives to the hole super weak. Yeah. Stops and pops up a shot that's too strong because he was originally back at the three.
Right. I mean, just look at the points in the paint. 48 for the Cavs, 28 for the Warriors.
Yeah.
That's why they ended up with more free throws, not because the league is rigged. Crazy game, man. Crazy game.
You know what, man? This is Game 7 of the NBA Finals. This is what the NBA is made of, dude. Like, this, win or go home. So,
Dark Realm 3799 is asking what's going to happen to Barnes now.
He's probably leaving.
You think he's leaving?
Well, I don't know if he'll want to leave or not, but if he didn't have the most stellar play.
Do you want him to leave?
I don't know right now. I don't like breaking up teams. You know what I mean? So especially winning teams, like proven winning teams. So it's a little frustrating because I feel like we need an extra piece now, but at the same time, I feel like we should try it one more time and see what happens. So I'm not sure. 'Cause what happened? What happened with the Lakers after they lost to the Celtics? They came back the next season and won the championship, right?
It was different. They got rid of Vladimir Radmanovic.
Okay. Well, any key or role players or like key role players, you know what I mean? Like, did they swap main lineups out or no?
What happened was Trevor Ariza emerged. He didn't play at all. He played like 6 minutes in that finals, and then the next year he was like on fire, and then he was a starter, and then that happened. Then he left after they won, and then they signed Ron Artest, and then they won again.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I thought that was a mistake, letting Ariza go.
Oh, 100%, especially after the Lamar Odom thing, but that's just me. I remember tweeting at Ariza.
Like literally?
Yeah, because, again, I'm a Lakers fan, and I was like, dude, we need you. And because back then it was you either sign Odom or Ariza. You can't afford both, literally. So I was like, Ariza, just take the mid-level exception. We'll re-sign you after Odom's done. Just please don't leave. And then he left to the Rockets and had a terrible year.
So that's what I'm afraid of with Barnes. You know what I mean? So Warrior fans know this. We have players that have potential on our squad. Throughout history, we've had players signed to the Dubs that have had potential. Who
had the most potential? Because I know the answer.
Like, are you talking about like that didn't fulfill it or did?
Yeah. Didn't fulfill. I know the answer.
I don't know. Is there a real answer, or is this an opinion?
Well, it's an opinion that I think is right.
Are you going to say Latrell Sprewell?
Nope.
Okay, go for it.
Shout out Anthony Randolph. Remember that guy?
Oh, dude, that was my favorite player. I met him.
That guy was supposed to be the shit.
Where is he? He went to Minnesota or something, right? And
He's gone. He's probably in Israel.
You remember when he broke his leg?
Mm-hmm.
I ran into him in the dugout thing, like when you go to the back.
Mm-hmm.
And I started talking to him. I was like, oh, shit, you're my favorite Dubs player right here. And he was like, for real? And I was like, yeah.
He was like the best looking donut that was dry when you bit into it.
He was a very like raw, super raw, like Kevin Garnett, but can't shoot.
Yeah. He was supposed to be like Odom, Garnett, like hybrid. It just didn't work out.
I remember that kid used to get so hyped when he'd go for he'd have the ball, he'd go at the rim, and then he'd like fuck up totally. Yeah. And like I'd be like, well, he's got potential. So him, Kalena, Azubuike, to me, I thought that he had potential too.
Injuries though, different.
Injuries,
Marco Bellinelli was the Italian Kobe when y'all drafted him.
Dude, I was bummed when we got rid of him. So this is what I was saying though, is that we get rid of players with potential, then they meet their potential in other teams.
It's different now though.
Frustrating.
No, that's the old Warriors. It's different now. It's different now.
Well, so that's something that that some fans might not see because they might be just tuning in recently during the Warriors' current, success. But this team wasn't just like it didn't just come together. You know what I mean? Like they drafted the old school way. They grew this team from nothing.
Exactly.
So,
of course, luck plays into it. But here's what I think they should do with Barnes. Just test it out. If he's getting paid the max, don't do it. Just don't. Mm-hmm. You're gonna regret that. If not next year, the year after, and if not that, best case scenario, he actually plays good for 2 years. But then that third and fourth year, you're like, oh my god, we signed this dude to max. Like what? So if they get something that's a good deal, yes, resign him. Of course, he's a good player. He just had a bad playoff run. And you could argue he had a bad playoffs last year, but that didn't seem to matter.
He totally did, and then he made up for it in the finals.
Right. So, but here's the thing. If they get a good deal, re-sign him. But I would call Kent Bazemore. Remember that guy?
Yeah, I like Kent.
I think he's a similar player to Barnes. You might get him cheaper, a little younger, or they might actually be the same age but Bazemore's a little bit more energetic. You know what I mean?
I was just gonna say Bazemore would dive after those loose balls.
Right. Exactly.
Whereas Barnes just kind of looked at, like, there was one play where Kyrie got his own tip in, and I was like, Barnes, why didn't you fucking block him out, dude? Like,
yeah,
man,
you lose a little versatility because he's not as tall as Barnes, and Barnes could definitely play the 4 more. But Bazemore could play the 2 better. Like, he could guard the 2s better than Barnes can guard it.
Yeah, no, he's still it's still a versatile enough player to where he's long. You know what I mean? He's long and lanky. You can have him defensively only focus on defense, or you can have him spread the floor on offense. So
I follow him on Instagram, and he's in Maui right now.
No, I follow him too. I don't know if I'm even supposed to say this, but we were supposed to do something together with like Under Armour Finish Line a while back, but he ended up it just didn't work out. But he's a cool guy.
Okay, so my dream scenario is get Bazemore and get Joakim Noah. New squad. How about that? That's a good squad.
You think?
Yes, Joakim Noah is perfect for the Warriors. Perfect. I'm telling you.
Kind of like another Draymond. You want 2 of them?
Yeah, but he's a center. You know? But he's Bogut's replacement.
Actually, you think Bogut's leaving?
Well, I don't know if he's leaving. My friend cuts his hair, and he said that inside scoop. Bogut wants to stay, but he's not. But I mean, if Bogut gets paid a lot of money to go somewhere else, I think that the Warriors will probably try to get him super cheap. But the reason why I want Joakim Noah is because he's like Bogut, but with Draymond's DNA. They have the same skills, him and Bogut.
Actually, it wouldn't be that bad because at least
the
intensity. Because sometimes I feel like the whole squad where Draymond's like a firecracker, and then the other 4 players on the team are just kind of like.
Imagine driving the lane and meeting Draymond and Joakim. You'd be so pissed. You'd be so pissed.
You would have some WWE matchups going on in that shit because those 2 get in players' heads.
That's what I'm saying. Oh my God, perfect. Joakim, Kent Bazemore on the Warriors next year. It probably won't happen, but that's like the dream. Oh my God, Joakim Noah in a Warriors jersey. And just perfect. Him in Golden State. He's a stoner. He used to go to Maui and smoke weed all the time on a nude beach.
Oh, right on.
So him, I could just see him like Golden State's like a good spot for him. And on the court and off the court. Patrick Baker's asking, in your opinion, who deserves Finals MVP? We talked about it earlier. You thought that Kyrie should have got a little shine, not necessarily win the award, but they said that it was unanimous in LeBron's favor.
Yeah, that's the thing is that I personally would have picked Kyrie.
You would have.
I would have. I was surprised that it was unanimous.
What do you think his stats were without looking tonight?
Tonight, I honestly don't know. All I know is that he hit the game winner. You're the Finals MVP. You know what I mean? Like,
he had an okay night. 10 for 23, 26 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist.
You got to understand that he's a point guard. You know what I mean? Like, he's not even the go-to.
Yeah,
and
but
he makes a huge difference.
Did you think LeBron was going to miss both free throws?
Those last 2? Yes. When he complained about his wrist for no reason, even though he didn't land on it?
Okay, so that was my next question. You thought he was embellishing it like, ooh, let me act like my wrist is broken, and it drained 2 free throws. Epic moment.
And as soon as that happened, they went to the bench, and he didn't nothing. He didn't even hold it a little bit, being like, oh. And the way that he landed, it wasn't. It was a shoulder thing. Yeah, it looked more like a shoulder thing, but he was grabbing his wrist. That's the thing. And so, I don't think he knew what to play up because I broke my wrist before.
Yeah.
I broke my wrist before, and so I know exactly how you would land.
I dislocated it, and it never went back.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like when you break your wrist, it's like you or even damage it a little bit, it's a legit thing, and you have to land on it square. And so
it was a fake thing.
Yeah.
But that's fine. They won.
No, I'm just saying that's a typical LeBron thing, but
it wasn't as bad as the Paul Pierce thing.
With the wheelchair getting carried out and shit.
I lost so much respect for Paul Pierce that day. Because then he came back and he look. Paul Pierce is interesting because you feel bad for him because he got stabbed a bunch of times, right? And you were like, oh man. But then you were like, oh, he's kind of an asshole. Then the wheelchair thing happened. Then he had 2 threes. Obviously not injured. His teammates were carrying him like a baby. I hated him. And then when he hit that bank shot, and Chris Broussard was like, did you call bank? And Paul Pierce was like, I called game. Then I was like, I like Paul Pierce a little bit, man. I can't even trip.
No, that fool tried to call out LeBron tonight. Of
course he did. He owns LeBron.
Nah.
Technically.
I think, look, I never liked the guy, and well, not personally, but like on court. And I just still don't. I think that if you flop like that, especially dramatically and act it up and everything. Right. Sorry, dude.
Okay, so here's an interesting one since we're shoe guys. Thoughts on Nike now with Under Armour probably not going to do as well? I just don't even know what to say about that.
Look,
this finals outcome has nothing to do with the shoe sales.
A little bit, but only
in favor.
Only these shoes though. Only the ones that they're wearing. We just posted on Wear Testers release information on the colorway of the Soldier 10s that LeBron wore during these finals, the black and gold ones with the icy bottoms.
Yep.
The release date for that colorway, you can get it on Nike ID, is June 21st.
Okay.
And so sales for that particular model will be good. Kyrie's shoe, the black with the icy bottom and the gold strap, those might release. Those sales will be good. If they bring a championship pack, which they should, of Kyrie and LeBron together, which would be really interesting. I don't think that's ever happened before. Should sell really well. But every single kid that wants to play like Steph Curry and wear Steph Curry shoes, they're still going to wear Steph Curry shoes.
It's not going to affect the sales for Curry 3, for the Curry 3.
No,
and I think that's how I read the question. He thinks now Under Armour screwed since LeBron won.
Look, the Curry 2.5 is, to me, I know that they're identical to the 2 in certain aspects and stuff. You can check Jaren's performance review out now at weartesters.com. I personally think the shoe is trash, and it's nothing against Under Armour or Curry or anything because I'm a fan, but that shoe wasn't going to sell well anyways. It looks funny, dude. It feels funny.
So you think it looks funny? Did you play enough?
Yeah.
There's no reason for you to.
Yeah, I don't want to because I like the 2 already. I like the 2 low. Like, it's like, what am I going to do? Good at 2.5, whatever. It's the same shit. You know,
the support is better though, which you don't need. You don't need that.
No,
I know, but
maybe if I roll my ankle, maybe if I roll my ankle, like that could be the backup shoe instead of wearing a brace or something. But
the Curry 2, I said it in my review. I wouldn't recommend the Curry 2 to all players, just guards. Very flimsy shoe, which doesn't mean cheap. It just means that's just the way it is. There's like the Kobe 5 was flimsy. I thought it was weird how big men wore the Kobe 5. I was like, what are you doing? But anyways.
Well, it's because their fit was spectacular. So
no, I know. The fit was on this was spectacular.
Yeah, but it was still like, if they would have been a low with that fit, or just that because that thing that you were talking about where it digs into your Achilles, I do not like that.
No, I know.
At all.
People were saying that it softened up on them. I just wore an ankle brace like I always do.
I'm sure. I'm sure it'll break in, but you know.
The Curry 2.5 is good for positions 1 through 5, which I guess is it's a success because that's something I complained about. Under Armour, they don't have any big men shoes.
But direct sales though, that shoe might take a small hit. You know what I'm saying?
Are the taxis sitting?
Yes, but that's because they're black and yellow. So people prefer the Under Armour screwed up because they were supposed to release the Batman 2s first, and then next month was supposed to be all of the shoes that Curry won his championship in, which would be the 2.5, and he didn't even wear the shoe in the finals. He wore the 2s. So, you know, and so they were rushing everything, speeding up the release dates, and you know, I don't think that people bought the white one, the one that you have, the fade, the blue fade or whatever, but 73.9s, whatever they're called, and all that stuff. So, you know, that, because it's tied to a specific thing, people buy it. The rest of them, though, unless you're a team and you buy the team color, You know what I mean? Like people probably not going to buy the 2.5. I don't think that it would have sold as well as the 2 anyways, because like I said, it's pretty much trash.
So the sense I'm getting from you, you said you would have voted for Kyrie, Finals MVP.
Mm-hmm.
I have a text from you.
What does that say?
I mean, I'm not gonna read the text, but I just want to say that it's not a good LeBron text. You've been critical on this guy.
Yeah,
it's fine. But
I'm critical
what
on
do you
things
think about him now?
that claim to be the greatest.
Is this? Well, he did that to himself by tattooing the chosen one to himself, and literally calling himself that. But does this performance in this finals, does it change the way you think about LeBron even a little?
No, because I'm looking through just the most recent text that I sent you, and I said we must have texted this at the same time, but we both texted, like you said, LeBron's block, and then mine was saying LeBron's block was crazy, and then I had counted the 3 chase downs and said dude's on a mission. Then Kyrie hit the 3, and I text you, we're done. And that's exactly what happened.
But if you scroll up, it says LeBron's a punk man. I paraphrased there.
Oh yeah. So let me see. What was? Do you remember? Oh, because he was talking shit to Curry. That's right. Yeah, and I just think that LeBron's a punk, dude. Because like, check this out. If you start talking shit to LeBron, which Draymond was doing earlier in the game, all of a sudden LeBron talks to the ref and being like, "Yo, what is he like? You're gonna let him get away with that?" And then all of a sudden, when the ref's not around, he reminds me of like my little brother a little bit. When it's just you two, right? Everything, like, you'll be punking each other. As soon as your dad's around, you know what I'm saying? And then like he's like, "Oh, Dad, Chris, blah blah blah," or whatever. And then his dad always got mad at me and shit. And like I was like, "What the fuck?" Like I didn't do anything wrong. And that's how I perceive what LeBron's doing. Where it's just like, "Did you see what he just said to me? Did you hear it? Did you hear it? Are you sure? Are you sure? No." He said this. You know what I'm saying? And the ref's kind of like, "Dude, just play the game."
The reason why
that's all. I just feel like, you know, LeBron be a punk.
Earlier I said that there's like 3 locks of guys that I put in front of LeBron. The reason why was because those guys, Magic, Jordan, Bird, even Kobe, I'd put Kobe in this. Never once did I go, "Oh yeah, they're taking the night off. Oh yeah, he's like, they're going half speed tonight." Nah,
no.
You know.
Yeah, see,
ever.
That's the thing that really gets me about the Warriors is that, and you know this because I complain about it almost every freaking game, is that they come out. I mean, everybody knows that the first quarter sets the tone. It sets the pace of the game. Like, what did you guys do? Like, it's like they had Phil Jackson for their coach instead of Steve Kerr. Like, everything's so zen, you know? And I'm just like, bro, you're playing one of the greatest of all time right now. Game 7, NBA Finals. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, not only that, but like, check this out. They had a 3-1 lead, dude.
Yeah.
You came out in Game 5 knowing that that's the closeout game for you, and y'all acted super lax on it, dude.
Yeah, no. You can say the same thing about
what I'm saying. You can't
LeBron for some games. Not necessarily the series, but in the past, it looked like, especially against that San Antonio when they got romped, it was just kind of like, is winning really that important to this guy?
You don't. But that's the thing, though. Like, you don't know what's going through some of these guys' heads, right?
I know. But I do. What I do know is that every time Kobe laced them up, every time Jordan laced them up, every time Bird laced them up, and Magic, they wanted to win, and it was apparent. It looked apparent, like, oh, these guys wanted to win.
Well, then take that series that LeBron looked lax, okay, and then compare it to LeBron now. 3 chase down blocks, dude.
No, I know. Yeah, but even in this series, you know, like games 2 and 1 and 2, that's what people were complaining about LeBron with, not the numbers. They were complaining about the aggressiveness. It looked like he wasn't 100% engaged. That's people's problem with LeBron.
Nah, you can. It's okay. So
At the time, they're not complaining about it now. Obviously, he won.
Clearly, he won, but
at that time, that's what they were complaining about.
To me personally, this is one thing. Like you could never talk about his will to win. To me, okay. He's proved otherwise. No matter what team he's on, the guy is giving his all out there. So, and like I said, we don't know what he's feeling, what he's thinking. You know what I'm saying? So, playing all of these games in a season or whatever can be taxing on your body.
Yes.
What if that dude, and we know for a fact that this guy suffers from cramps for whatever reason he suffers from.
I've told you.
I know, but that's up for debate. I'm just saying. Okay. But he suffers from cramps. Okay.
He does. Not this year though.
And you could tell by his hairline that the guy's not getting any younger. So.
Well, I don't know if the hairline thing has anything to do with his age.
That's just a little funny. But so you can't get on him for never not trying. Like you can't. Sorry, dude. I've never seen LeBron James personally where he's never for sure not trying.
Really? Mavericks 2011? It looked like he kind of gave up. He scored 9 points in the finals game.
Frustrated look. I would have to go back.
Did it look like Kevin Love wasn't trying at times this series? Or not trying, but just kind of like,
Yes, but I think that was for a different reason. I think that Kevin Love.
What LeBron looked like in 2011. I'm just letting you know.
Well, that was LeBron's team, so there was no reason why he should feel uncomfortable. Kevin Love, though, looked like he was like the stepchild of the family. You know what I mean? He was the Kevin McAllister in Cleveland. So,
do you trade Love?
I don't know because
they won.
He showed up tonight.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
He showed up compared to last game. He had
9 points, 14 rebounds.
He at least tried. You can't expect to get a double,
but
triple double out of him.
A lot of money just to do that. And you trade Love. You know why you trade Love?
I don't think that they need. I don't think that they need to keep him.
No, you trade him, Chris. You trade him. You know why? Because
the Warriors need him now, or what?
No, because what you could get for him is just as good or better than what he gave you.
True.
Do you know what I'm saying?
No, I agree.
Yeah. So, like, if Boston wants him, number 3 pick and Jay Crowder. Oh my God!
But if you're asking me, do they trade him? I don't know. You know what I mean?
You do.
So I do not think that LeBron wants to keep him. I feel like that dude's body language.
The first guy that who was the first one?
The whole relationship between them in this final series is so uncomfortable to watch.
Uncomfortable, but I thought it was hilarious that the first hug was
that dude was just the closest one to LeBron. Dude.
No, I know.
He was the closest motherfucker there.
With all that being said, guess what? The first hug was those guys. Crazy.
I know. And LeBron was probably like, "Where's Kyrie?" You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Let's see what the chat room is saying. There's a lot of love sucks, ass. LeBron convinced Kevin to stay. Nobody wants love. Love got offensive rebounds. That was it. Cavs should trade LeBron. Well, no.
What? You said that?
Kevin was, here's all caps. Kevin was trash. And in my humble opinion, which is in all caps, his humble opinion, I do not think he does contribute to the Cavs. Well,
not on a consistent, regular basis.
I'm just saying that what you could get for Kevin Love is just as good as what he was giving you. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree that
you don't trade Kyrie anymore, though.
Oh hell no! I don't even know why you would want to. As one of the managers or front office members over there, but
well, if you're the Cavs and you don't have LeBron, Kyrie's untouchable. But if you have LeBron, he's shoppable, especially if he doesn't show up when LeBron wants him to show up, which is the finals. But the thing is, he showed up, so you don't trade him. But if Kyrie didn't show up in the finals and he just averaged 22, let's say, trading him for Chris Paul is fine.
Well, for another point guard of equal value or greater.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean?
That doesn't mean that Chris Paul is better than Kyrie or the other way around. It just means that for that team, for what LeBron needs, in that situation, which didn't happen, that's Kyrie would be shoppable. But now he's not, but Love is. So, yeah, I think you trade Love.
Yeah, I think Kyrie can be a comparable point guard to CP if he can get the same type of vision and passing skills.
You know what's funny about, you know how amazing Kyrie Irving is? How good did he play, Chris? He was your finals MVP, right?
Yeah, he was amazing. Amazing.
He was your finals MVP. With all due respect to LeBron, you, in your opinion, which is 100% right because that's an opinion, you thought he was better than LeBron, and LeBron is awesome this series. You know how amazing that is, Chris? It's because Kyrie, he played one game in the finals before this year.
Yeah.
Well, so technically it's his first finals.
Yeah, last year I was super bummed when he got
so technically it's his first finals, right? Mm-hmm. How about this? The dude only played like 6 games in college. Not big games either. Then he gets to the NBA.
You don't always need that.
Then he gets to the NBA. Injury prone a lot. Plays on crappy teams, you know, those Cavs teams that got the #1 pick 2 times since he's been there.
Yeah.
So they're crappy teams, not big moments. Then his first playoff run, he was injured. He didn't play a lot of those playoffs. Then he played game 1 in the finals, played great, went injured. So technically, this is his first big playoff run moment, right?
Yes.
And he's your finals MVP. That, you know, the last guy who did that?
No.
In my opinion, the last guy here's your first playoff run, where you're a key part of this team, was Froby in that Indiana series, because it was like he'd never been there. Kobe had never been to the finals. Well, he's young. He was still like 19, I think. Maybe he was 20.
The same Kobe that launched threes from way back and airballed them all?
Are you talking about? No, well, he wasn't really shooting threes, but remember when Shaq fouled out in overtime, and then it was like,
this is so long ago, dude.
Yeah, so what happened was, it was in Indiana. I think it was either game 4 or 5, but Shaq fouled out, and it was like, as a Laker fan, you were like, oh, really? Like Kobe, like, okay, Kobe, you talk a lot. Let's see if you're the guy, you know. And he acted like he was the guy.
Is this pre-championship?
This was their first championship.
Okay.
This was Kobe's first time in the finals.
Finals. Okay.
Yeah, and it was like,
I was like, I swear they were there before.
No, and it was like, oh man, is this kid ready for it? And I remember Bob Costas, after Kobe hit his 3rd basket, said, "Can you believe this kid? He is for real." And I was like, yeah, he's for real. This is similar to what Kyrie did, where we didn't know, would he be good? And he was better than good. He was great. In fact, he was probably legendary.
Yeah,
legendary.
That's to you. I do think, like, I respect him, but
in the finals, in the must-win situations, must-win situations were what, I mean. 5.
There's certain things that are undeniable, you know, so you have to respect it. So that's how I feel about LeBron as well.
Must-win situation, game 5, down 3-1. What did he do?
Which one? Who are we talking about? Kyrie?
What did he do in game 5? Must win.
He killed it.
Scored 40.
41.
And not even like he scored 40. It was like
I thought it was 41.
Yeah, 41.
I thought but you were saying 40.
I mean 40 plus, but it wasn't like, he scored 41. It was like he got 41.
That's what I mean, though, is that, like, this kid is super talented, dude.
Oh yeah.
The way that check this out.
It's probably because he wasn't born in America, to be honest with you.
I don't know. Look, whatever it is, the guy is amazing. Yeah. And you have a lockdown defender like Klay Thompson on you, and you're just shaking him. Like, him hard, dude. And I'm just like, fuck. And I mean, as a Warrior fan, it's like getting kicked in the nuts. But as a basketball fan, you're watching them being like, I wish I could have done that. Like when I was his age, you know what I mean?
I remember posting this on Twitter, on the Huertas's Twitter. It was a poll, and I said, "Who would win on a one-on-one Rucker tournament?"
Who?
Okay, here are the four guys. Here are the four guys. Steph.
I would have to change my answer just to put it out there right now.
Steph, and I want you guys to answer this in the chat. One-on-one tournament in Rucker Park, New York. Who would win? Steph, Kyrie, Damian Lillard, or Kemba Walker? And you're probably being like, Kemba Walker, why? He's from New York, and
Kemba could be pretty shifty too.
You never count out a New York guy on a New York park with a New York rim with the New York crowd. You never do. That's one thing you know. You always bet on black, and you always bet on the guy in New York. In New York. That's just a fact. We thought Fomer's team was going to win that tournament, did we not?
Yeah.
Why? I think not only because they were good, but also because we were in their home turf. And there's not a more confident soul in the world than a New Yorker in New York. That's just a fact.
No, I agree.
But who do you think would win that one-on-one Rucker tournament out of those four guys?
Well, so my original pick was Dame, though.
It was?
Yes. And some people thought I was crazy, but hey, he's from the Bay, just like me. He's from a much rougher area than I'm from. So, I played with some
roughest.
Yeah. Well, yeah, actually, yeah, I'd have to agree with that. And I played with some of the people in Oakland, and they are no joke. So, like if it wasn't for me being able to shoot, I'd have been assed out. So I picked Dame at first, but seeing Kyrie, so some of the finishing moves that he had tonight off the glass, driving and everything, getting fouled and ones and everything, that's hard to guard, dude. So I'd have to go with Kyrie now.
Okay, right, Kyrie. I would agree with you. I mean, what he did just kind of was just like, wow, he would win that tournament. Let's see what the chat's saying.
This chat moves
Kyrie,
so fast, dude.
Kyrie or Dame. Uncle Drew. Yeah, it's mainly Kyrie and Dame. Steph and Kemba, not so much love, but a lot of Dame and a lot of Kyrie. There's a Westbrook thing. That wasn't the question.
Was he even an option?
No, he wasn't.
Stay within the limits.
Yeah. There's a lot of Dame or Kyrie, which is crazy. But, man, what a Game 7. If I weren't a Lakers fan, it would probably be the best Game 7 that I've ever watched. But, again, that Game 7, Lakers-Celtics, it's just like, when you're a fan of a team like that and you hear about these Lakers-Celtics rivalries before you were born and then it actually happened, that's just something that will never, ever be replaced. The only thing that can replace it is another Lakers-Celtics Game 7. But minus that game, and this is probably the best Game 7 that I've ever watched. What about you?
It was a great game in general. Playoff finals, Game 7, whatever. It was super intense for me. Like my heart rate was all over the place, dude. There was a point in the third quarter when I wanted to just leave because I couldn't handle the ups and downs of the game. And this is because I'm like I've watched plenty of playoff and finals games, and they're not my team, so it's like it's just fun to watch. You know what I mean? But this one's different because it's your team and you want them to win and stuff. However, I do feel that LeBron and the Cavs, they earned it, so I'm not going to discredit anything. But yeah, so it was a great game. I don't know if I would put it at my top just because I don't ever keep track or anything like that. But there were points in it where I was devastated by the end. So I was one of those guys that you see in the videos, like recapping their historic season and all that stuff. I was one of those guys in the stands that's going like this, like, oh, yeah. That was me at the end, man. when Kyrie hit the three, dude, I was just like, we're fucked.
You know what? A lot of the Warrior fans stayed for the ceremony thing, and they were clapping actually.
Well, so when the thing first started, there were some boos, and I was a little pissed because I was just like, can you please show these guys respect? Like, please. Like, they just whooped our ass, you know?
You know what's interesting, though? Draymond actually came up in the middle of the thing.
I saw
and it wasn't like immediately after. It was like a little bit after. And he came in and he gave dap, right?
Yeah.
Again, we've given so much props to Cleveland, Kyrie, and LeBron in this live stream. So if you're just joining now, don't get mad. But what Draymond did was not something LeBron did last year. Right? He just go up to Steph, shake his hand, went back to the bench, and then he was never to be heard from again?
Look, dude.
Or am I not remembering that correctly?
I have the worst memory ever. However, that is something that I've seen LeBron do plenty of times.
Yeah, walk off, right? That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
And so that's what I mean, though, is that Cleveland as a whole, the team, respect to you guys and stuff. For me personally, I'm not a fan of LeBron. I'm just not. Like, people have tried to argue, or not argue, but just convince me and stuff, and I just can't get down with the guy, man. Kyrie, though, the dude's respectable. Like, you know what I mean? The kid helped up Steph like on 2 different occasions throughout the finals.
People are saying that they were booing Adam Silver, not the Cavs.
Oh, okay. Well, if that's the case, then high five to you.
I mean, can we just address the elephant in the room? Adam Silver looks like that dude in that American painting, right? The farmer.
The creepy one?
Yeah, with the pitchfork and the wife. Yeah. That's him. Not looks like him.
He looks like he could be him. And he looks like he could be in that painting at night with the, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, that too, yeah.
The creepy
Van Gogh painting, yeah. You live right next to a Van Gogh street.
Huh?
Illuminati confirmed.
Hey.
Anyways, I mean, look, the stream is strong right now. We kind of talked about a lot, so I don't want to talk about the same stuff again. So if you guys could help me out in the chat, the numbers keep going up, so that doesn't make me want to stop. But again, if you should rewatch this if you're just joining now. We talked about pretty much everything about Game 7 and basketball and fandom and all of that. But since we live in the Bay, you're a Warriors fan, I want to talk just a little bit more about what's going to come up next for the Warriors. And we touched on it a little bit, the guys that I would want to see come back. But I guess the question is, losing's never good, but it can fuel you.
It builds character.
Yeah. And the Warriors next season, should they be favored to come out of the West?
No, you should never favor anybody. You know what I mean? Even if they
can't stop Vegas from favoriting people.
Look, to me, you would never favorite anyone. You know what I mean? Because it's a new season. Anything can happen. You can call it the redeem team, because that's what they're going to be doing. You know,
redeem team. Okay, so, I got someone here that says they're never going to win another championship.
They might not. Look, they might.
Yeah, you can say that about the Cavs.
You can say that about any team.
No, I know. Yeah,
but yeah, no, it's true though. We might not ever win another championship. You know, like I'm not saying ever, but for the foreseeable future, like we might not. And if that ends up happening, that's still my team. So whatever, Dub Nation. But that's the NBA also. Like there are, believe it or not, there is teams that don't go back to back to back. There's only been a handful. You know
Remember what I was telling you earlier, especially about the KD thing? That's how it came up. I said I think three-peating is a thing in the past. Like, it's done. I think that three-peating probably won't be seen again. I honestly believe that. The last team to do it was the Lakers,
It's
And the
super
last team
hard,
before
dude.
that was Michael. And the last team before that was Michael again. And the last team before that was Magic's Lakers. And the last team before that were the Celtics. So think about it. All the three-peats in the world were the guys were Bill Russell, Bird, Magic, Jordan, Shaq, Kobe. Like, come on. Like, yo. So you're telling me in order to three-peat, you need one of those guys?
Yeah.
And that's not just one of those guys, but also a Pippen, a Worthy, a McHale.
Well, a whole cast.
A Shaq, a Kobe. Yeah. So three-peating is...
It takes a long time to just build that.
No, I know. It's
impossible. That could take seasons. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're lucky that we had Steph at since he was a rookie because he's not old. You know, somebody I saw fly by in the chat because the damn thing moves too fast. So I'm asking about what is this going to do to Steph's legacy? He doesn't have a legacy yet. Like he's still playing. He's a current
one
player.
For one.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
or not 1 for 1, 1 for 2.
Or yeah, one for 2. And who's to say that next year, just maybe, this team goes back to the finals, say it's Cleveland and Warriors again, and then maybe the Warriors pick up this one. That's what a rivalry is. You know what I'm saying? And that's what some people think or forget, that the Celtics and the Lakers rivalry, it was never just like clean wins of chunks of seasons. You know what I'm saying? It was a back and forth thing. One year it would be the Boston Celtics, one year it would be the Los Angeles Lakers, and all that shit. And so, you know, it doesn't do anything to his legacy. What he does after this is what his legacy will be. You know, what do you do after losing? Do you sit down? Do you go ghost, or do you get back up? You know.
So what? KD to the Warriors?
I don't know. You know, honestly, I don't know. Is it true that Verjao gets a ring either way?
I think it's true.
Okay, because that was like the
Would you accept? Jacques Slade asked that. Would you accept if you're Verjao and Cleveland offered you a ring? Would you take it?
Is Jacques in here?
No, on Twitter.
Oh,
he tweeted that.
Do you have a choice? Like, are you supposed to decline?
You could decline, I guess.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyone offers you something, you could decline, unless the dude offering it to you is big and wearing a leather jacket.
Yeah.
You want to hold this gun?
True.
Yes, I do. So yeah, but yeah, would you do it though if you had the option? If you were Verjao?
I mean, it would be awkward to have that. You know, to me, like if I was Verjao, that'd be hella awkward to be like, oh, this is the ring that I never won.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
I won this ring, but I was on the other team technically.
Yeah, and even at on the flip side, say the Warriors won, it's like you weren't there for all of those 73 games. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know. It's just weird. It would be the most awkward ring ever.
Are they rioting in Cleveland?
What?
I heard someone mention that.
Like, are you serious? Like they're rioting in the streets after they won?
Yeah. That's what someone said.
I hope not.
Because that would be sad.
Yeah, you gotta, sports fans, man, you guys gotta do better than that, dude. Although I don't think the people rioting are real sports fans, but still.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Let's see here. If you look, the numbers on the live stream keep coming up. We're happy to have you guys, but we're deep in this conversation. So I would highly recommend going back and watching this, putting it on in the background while you're doing something, because we talked about everything. LeBron, Steph, Kyrie, Draymond,
Tears were shed.
7. Yeah,
Blood
we talked about everything. We gave a full recap. So right now we're just kind of living by the chat, seeing what you guys want us to talk about. But
I have some Warriors NBA Finals PEs that are for sale right now.
You do? Oh, you
kidding.
do.
I'm just kidding.
Not for sale, but you have those.
I have them, and I'm so sad. The
You know what
reason
I'm
why
sad?
I didn't upload any reviews on those final shoes
really?
because to me it was a bad omen. And
That's a good idea. Well, it didn't work, but
well, no, I feel like releasing those in general was a bad omen.
oh, I guess here's the thing though. We're not gonna get those answer shoes anymore, huh?
No, we're not.
Anta was like, yo, we'll send these to you if they win. And I was like, okay, cool. Didn't win, so we won't be getting those shoes.
I thought
Man.
that was a bad omen too. Like when they sent me the email with the pictures, I was like, "Are you for real? Like you really put back to back on that?" With
they did put back to back, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, man,
China could control the weather, but they couldn't make him win this series.
Well, those are the things that when things like that happen, that's what makes me like think like, is the NBA rigged? Is it possible? You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Because how do you know? You know, like it's just like I don't know. It's just weird. So
I read an interesting theory that the NBA didn't want LeBron to lose since Space Jam 2's coming out.
I don't know. I mean, you can even say that Nike didn't want LeBron to lose. You know what I'm saying? Like, who cares? So,
well, Nike wins either way because then they just release a Draymond pack or whatever.
Well, yeah, but it's never that's not like the star athlete. You know what I mean?
We're not gonna get those blue Draymonds.
No, if they did drop, though, I would get them.
You would get them?
Yeah, because they were sweet.
I'd probably get them too. They are sweet.
Yeah, I would trade them. I'd trade them the white ones for those.
Oh, man, crazy! This was crazy.
Yeah, no, I'm really bummed though because
you're bummed now. It's sinking in.
Oh no, it hit as soon as it happened. I'm serious. Like
my mouth was open, but I actually started clapping for LeBron.
No, my eyes were watering.
That was crazy.
My eyes were watering, dude. Yeah, like I was legit upset, dude. Like I was just like, man, I can't believe I just watched that. That was like watching your pet get murdered or something. Like I was just like, maybe not as dramatic, but like
the Kyrie shot was like that.
That's what I mean, though. Is like that was the dagger right there. Like as soon as I sent you the text, as soon as it happened, we're fucked. Or I said we're done.
I wasn't up to date with the text because I was just like,
oh yeah, you were probably just watching the game. But to me, as soon as that happened, dude, like I was like, man, it's over, dude. It's over. Like these guys don't have enough composure to set a set play and complete it. You know what I mean? And even then, if they got the shot off, would it go in? Like, you know what I mean? So it was just crazy to.
You got to give props to Cleveland. They guarded that 3-point line so well at the last play.
Look, is it Tristan Thomas or Thompson?
Thompson.
Okay, that guy. I said this last year in the finals, and I said that guy was a really good player with a lot of potential. I said this on Twitter. And people were blasting me, being like, oh, he sucks, blah, blah. And these were Cleveland fans. And I was like, what are you talking about? Are you not watching the same final series I'm watching? This season, the kid's upped his game, dude. Defensively, most of the time when you set a big on Curry, he, makes you look stupid.
Yeah.
He can play defense, man. He's quick for how big he is. And he did it on both sides. He did it by stopping the star athlete and getting putbacks, rebounds, big rebounds. That was another thing that I think killed us is that this team does not go for offensive rebounds whatsoever. The Warriors. Mm-hmm. It's really that's a pet peeve of mine when I'm playing. Is like how like I shoot threes and shit, and I expect my big man to be down there being a big man. And when I have a big on my team that doesn't know how to be a big, it irritates me. And so watching the Warriors give no shits about offensive rebounds or putbacks is just really like those are second chance points that just weren't there for them, and I think that kind of stuff kills it.
I wonder what the post game presses are for the Warriors.
I'll watch it later tonight.
See, LeBron says I came back for a reason, but earlier this week he said the championships weren't the main reason I came back. See, it's the flip flopping like that where I'm just confused.
Look,
like what?
Yeah, this guy shouldn't speak. Because like, and I'm being serious. Like, there's sometimes when you try to play your cards and like you just, you know what I mean? Like you could tell that you're fake. There's something about him that just. I'm usually a really good judge of character, except for with you. I fucked up when I picked you up. But I'm just kidding. So I'm just fucking with you. But no, usually I'm a good judge of character. And there's something about LeBron that rubs me the wrong way. So, and that's all I can say. So for someone like him, I feel like he should be quiet and stick to the script. Because when he goes off topic like that, that's when you start getting the quotes and stuff. So,
well, For me, it started when Nike asked him not to be number 23, and he said, nah.
And then he changed to number 6, saying
Later on.
Yeah, that nobody, that's what I'm saying, nobody should wear
number 23
out of respect for Jordan. Then he comes back to Cleveland, okay, and then picks up right where he left off with number 23. Look, dude.
He wears number 6 in practice.
I don't even care, man. And no, I didn't. I just think that it's.
Isn't that
I
weird,
just think that it's weird. Yeah, it's super weird, dude.
Weird. Yeah, and especially when you're a teenager and Nike just gave you 90 mil, you'd be like, "Oh, you don't want me to be number 23? Okay, Nike, I'll do that for you." You don't go like, "Yeah, nah, I want to be number 23."
Although his 23 LeBron jersey or logo was way better than this new one.
He's had like 6 logos actually.
The LJ 23 with the crown was dope.
Yeah, way
better than.
Someone's asking Terminal Command, why can't he wear number 23? We didn't say that. He said that.
Yeah. He can wear whatever. He can wear whatever he wants.
Do you think number 23 should be retired like the Jackie Robinson?
No.
I think it should.
I don't think so.
Why? You think
it's just a number, dude.
You're right, but all teams do that. All teams do that.
Yeah, retire that jersey for that team. Don't fucking make the whole number off limits.
Well, the Heat retire number 23. They have a Jordan jersey hanging in the Heat stadium.
The Miami Heat?
Yeah. Pat Riley did that.
And it says Jordan up there?
It doesn't. I don't think it says Jordan, but it's red, black, and white. It's clearly a Bulls jersey, but it just says 23.
Wait, so Pat Riley retired the number 23 in Miami.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
So LeBron came to Miami and just automatically could not wear 23. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, but then he said no one should wear 23.
Because he's a bad liar. You know what I'm saying? Just tell the truth. Say that I couldn't wear 23 because Pat Riley said no.
What do you guys think? Should number 23 be retired?
I just think it's just a number.
Okay. Well, it would save a lot of people from being under that Jordan.
Look, dude, it's just a number. A lot of these new generation people don't even, watch Jordan like that. So I don't 23 to them could mean LeBron.
I'm seeing a lot of yeses. A couple no's, but a lot of yeses. No. Oh, now a lot of no's. I mean,
it's just a number.
I guess. But then we shouldn't retire any numbers.
That's the thing. I agree with I can't talk. Retiring the jersey number for the team, being like, this player was so great for this squad that nobody should ever wear this jersey for, the memory of. But to do that league wide, I think that's crazy.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right.
And this is coming from a Jordan fan. So,
for sure. I mean, we see your shoes.
That's true.
I mean, 99 is retired in the NHL. I'm just going to guess that that's Wayne Gretzky because, guys, I'm from Hawaii. We don't have hockey. Literally, there's nowhere you could play hockey on my island. None. No ice. No ice there. So, but yeah. Anyways, guys, look, again, if you're just joining, because the numbers keep going up and down, so I'm assuming people are joining. We're going to end it, but we talked about everything. I highly recommend rewatching it. We gave everyone their due, and it was really entertaining. We talked about Game 7, LeBron, Kyrie, Draymond, Steph. We talked about where the Warriors should go from here. We talked about where their love should be traded. We talked about basketball philosophies, flopping. We talked about it all.
Did you want to do a few rapid fire questions real quick since we're here? Sure. Okay.
But here I want you to give. You're gonna have the last word. Bury the Warriors.
What?
Yeah, bury the Warriors. You have the last words.
Hashtag Dub Nation.
Send them to the grave, man.
Until next year. It's just a game.
See, a lot of the rapid fire questions are stuff we talked about, like Barnes, like where's Barnes going?
Okay, then ask us anything else.
Okay, anything.
Yeah.
Well, see, Nightwing wouldn't know about the draft.
Yeah, I don't pay attention to that shit.
Yeah.
And half of the actual season I end up missing, and the playoffs because of my basketball schedule.
Right.
So, and I don't pay for, what is it, league pass? Is that it?
Yeah,
So,
League Pass.
yeah,
When is your Crazy Light Boost thing coming out?
It's gonna come out before the shoe releases. People just need to be patient.
Okay.
So, do I recommend the shoe though? Yes. I think that it is. To me personally, I would pick it just slightly over my my Rose Boost, but because of the traction on the Crazy Light. What is the number? 2016, the new one. Crazy Light Boost 2016 traction on that is Hall of Fame, Kobe 9 level.
On the Crazy Light?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I have the pair without the Continental rubber. So
what about the support?
To me, the support's nice. You have to actually break them in though, because the first few nights I wasn't like 100% on the shoe,
Okay.
both from the cushion aspect and just the overall fit. But every time that I wear them, I like them a little bit more. I wore my KDs to start the night the other day, and after the first game, I switched right out into my Crazy Lights because I just like those a little bit more.
I have a confession.
What?
I'm scared.
Of?
Like us home.
Does she know?
She's a Warriors fan. And
yeah, but does she know though?
Yeah, she knows.
Did she text you? What'd she say? She doesn't have to cut her hair now.
Check this out. She doesn't have to cut her hair now, but I kind of wanted that to happen.
Me
obviously.
too, dude. Did you see my request? 80s
Yeah,
Mohawk.
I did. You're trying to get me kicked out of the house. Here's what Leica texted me. Hopefully you guys can see that. You guys can. Oh, look. That's a lot of F words.
Yeah. A couple of ducks in there.
Yeah. It keeps going. But yeah, I'm scared. Let's see, what is the chat room saying? Someone's asking, how's the support in the KD9? Read the performance review.
Yeah.
But just for the people to say it.
The KD9's awesome, dude. Like, I highly recommend it. However, make sure that you go in and try them on, because the fit might not work for everybody.
Ruthless Bone. Esteban is with Leica right now. That's where he went. Yeah, people are they're burying me. Rip Geronmon. Yeah, I'm gonna die. Leica's gonna lay into me. She's pissed. She won't admit it. She's a legit Warriors fan.
How is this any of your fault?
Dude, I'm her boyfriend for 6 years. I'm her punching bag. You know this. Well, Jody might not be like that. She might not.
Yeah, no, not really.
Yeah.
We discuss things and then we work.
You're
out.
you're also white though. We're Asian, so it's a little different.
Look, white chicks can be a little crazy.
Not your white chick though.
No, she's pretty level-headed.
Sam Green, we talked about Kyrie earlier. Trust me, we gave him a lot of respect. I said earlier, definitely rewatch this. We talked about everything. What do you think about the Soldier 10?
I think that they're going to be dope.
Okay.
If you want to see what's in the shoe, go to weartesters.com. We published a deconstruction post where somebody cut the shoe in half. Those things got zoomed for days, dude. Like, it's just going to be comfortable.
Oh, the deconstructed thing, huh?
Mm-hmm. I love those things, man. You get to see exactly what Nike puts, or any brand that they take apart in the shoe. That way, like, as a consumer, you know exactly what your money's going towards. So I think it's dope. Somebody asked about the J Crossover 4. And
are you allowed to talk about that?
I don't know. I'm not allowed to show it. So
they look dope though.
They definitely look dope, and they feel dope also.
If you like the 2 and you didn't like the 3, you'll like the 4.
Well, even I didn't like the 3 as much as the 2, and then the 2 low was epic, and these are close to the 2 low. But a little bit more comfortable, I guess. I don't know. They're just slightly different, so they're very comparable.
Okay, how about that Crazy Explosive? What do you think about that?
Those things are butt ugly, but they look like they're going to be monsters on court. So if you don't care what your shoes look like, those will probably be a good option.
I'm still waiting for Adidas to mess up, but it seems like they're not. Which is a good
Adidas
thing.
is on a roll right now, dude. Like, I'm serious. The best bang for your buck at this point.
Well, hold on a second.
Performance for cash is Adidas right now. 120 for full length boost, dude.
Hold on a second.
120 full length boost.
Hold on a second.
120.
That's all we know, though. We don't know about
what do you mean?
The next LeBron's going to be priced, or the next Kobe, what it's going to have, or the Curry 3. We don't know. So yes, now they have the best value, but it's we can't compare it to anything else.
Compare it to the KD, and it's still
I know for sure
crazy light boost over the KDs, man. Sorry.
Yeah, but
boost is everything.
Things could change.
I just knocked out my shit.
Things could change. Oh, you can't hear then. Oh, things could change. Like remember, I forget which Adidas shoe it was. This happened with the 6, but it happened with another one where it was a good shoe, but they just never released it, or they stopped. Remember, like the Rose 6, like you can't get it anywhere.
Yeah. Well, okay. So that's going to be that'll be a problem. So if availability is limited on the shoes, like location wise, and I think that's stupid because for Adidas right now, like you have to build consumers' trust, and so in order to do that, they have to at least try the shoe on, at the least. You know what I mean? Because some people like say my track record with you, every shoe that I've reviewed, you've gone and bought, and then it's like 100% everything that I've said, like you agree with, whatever. Great, that's awesome. But there's gonna be a chance eventually when that doesn't happen. And so the only way for you to really like surefire know is if you can go and try a shoe on. And, you know, my recommendation is only going to go so far. Some people legitimately need to try stuff on, and I don't blame them.
Trying stuff on has become a thing of the past, mainly because
the way that
party retailers are.
It's the age of the internet. Everything's available at your fingertips. I get that.
But so brick and mortar stores are losing money to internet shopping, yet they're not doing anything to improve the brick and mortar store. They're actually incentivizing you to just buy it online. Footlocker.com. Instead of like just like having the thing and giving you useful information.
No, I know. But
which is good for us.
Yeah. But still, I just think that, you know, I hope that Adidas, and it's hard because Nike's in these retailers' pockets, whether you want to believe it or not. Like, they pay for shelf space, and so it's hard for Adidas to come in at this point, especially when they're paying so much of these athletes that they're signing. So
there's no laces on the Soldier 10s.
I remember
something they should have done in the 9.
Yeah, in the Soldier 9, I was like, yo, these don't even need the laces. There's only 2.
Yeah,
and, and they did that with the 10. So, you know, I think that's dope. Three more, then we can get going.
All right. Let's see here. Jetlon or Bounce? They're very similar.
Yeah, they're very similar.
They're probably the same thing.
It's possible.
Yeah. So that actually answers it. But I actually, to give you a real answer, I would say I like Bounce more now because I've just felt more stable in it. Played in the Ethers, played in the J Crossover 2. My favorite outdoor shoe right now is the Lillards, and I just a little bit more stable. I don't know what it is. It probably has nothing to do with the actual foam compound. It actually doesn't. It has to do with the silhouette.
It's all about the tooling design on those,
but that's all I have to go with. So for me, Bounce. What about you?
I'd still say it's equal, especially playing in the Crossover 4. Those are very stable. So any issues that you may have had in the past is going to be gone away with those. But yeah, they're very comparable cushions. I think that people don't know this, but the cushion mixtures are the same, like the EVA or whatever the main component is, and then they tweak it. Each brand does with their own signature concoction, basically, of, you know, extra rubber here or whatever it might be. So It's all technically the same. Just some foams have a little bit more rubber. Some have something different altogether. Like Boost is considered a foam cushion, but it's actually a TPU. It's a plastic. So but yeah, both are comparable. You can't go wrong with either one.
Everyone wants us to talk about the Rose trade.
What? He got traded?
Well, he might.
Oh, okay. Well, me and you talked about that privately. I don't know what to think. I think that would be a bummer.
It was, messed up.
Yeah, I think it would be a bummer. It's like I understand that this is a business for the teams and stuff, but I feel like it's like, I don't know. I just don't. I've seen this before. You know what I mean? Like I've seen it with Grant Hill. I've seen it with Penny. Like it sucks, dude. Like these players when they get injured.
Yeah.
And
I do think
it's a bummer, man.
I do think Rose is really skilled though, which I think that he can't be the player he was, but he could become a player that's really good. Really skilled, has good touch, underrated passer. He understands offense. It was apparent before he went down with an injury. He was passing the ball to guys in spots that they weren't even there yet, and then the guy would appear and the ball was already there in their hands. So he has like these kind of skills. But I think he has this stigma where he thinks he has to be that guy, but then at the same time he's scared to be. So
that's the thing. This is not going to help his confidence.
Yeah.
At all. So who knows what kind of Rose we'll see next year.
Yeah. Well, who knows? The Knicks might get him. But oh well. Anyways,
that could be a good thing for him. Who knows?
Maybe. Anyways, guys, we appreciate you watching. Again, if you're just joining or recently joined, we talked about everything you could possibly talk about. Game 7, talked about the Warriors' future, talked about LeBron's legacy. We talked about Kyrie and why Chris thinks he should have been Finals MVP. We talked about Steph and his struggles. We talked about it all. I highly recommend going back once this video is archived in a little bit, probably 20 minutes. Rewatch it, enjoy it, have it on in the background. We want to thank you guys for watching. Really good numbers. We appreciate it. All the Cavs fans out there, congratulations. All the Warriors fans out there, it's your fault. You didn't root hard enough.
No, it's not, man.
It's not. Keep your head up because I've learned this watching basketball. I'm a fan of the Lakers. I'm a fan of basketball, but the Lakers are what I call home. The Lakers have picked me up many more times than they've let me down. That's the perk of being a Lakers fan. I can't say the same for your team, but Dub Nation, they let you down this year, but all those games, those 73 wins, great. Yes, this is a big blow, but next year there'll be good times in the future. Just keep your head up.
I don't even consider them letting us down.
Okay, yeah, see?
They broke records, man.
They did.
They gave us one hell of a season. This shit was fun to watch.
Yeah, fun to watch. That's why so many people watched them and why so many people hated them and called them a bandwagoner. But
agreed.
Thanks for watching, guys. We'll catch you guys in the next one next year.
Yeah. Wait, what? Oh, yeah, that's right. The season's done.
The season's over.
That sucks.
Talk about the draft. No more basketball for a while.
That sucks for real. Damn. Okay, now I got 2 things to cry about. Okay, I gotta go.
All right.
All right.